Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the school board. My name is Nadia Leiby, and I am a senior at Loudoun Valley High School and Monroe Technology Center. I am here tonight to speak for myself and for all of the youth in LCPS who are unable to speak for themselves. I have been out as a lesbian since I was 15 years old. Oftentimes, peers of mine have sought me out as a confidant during times that they were questioning or afraid to come out to friends and family because I have been such an outspoken and open voice at Valley about my sexuality. I implore all of you to revisit the policy to protect LGBT students and staff in Loudoun County Public Schools. This policy may have stopped a teacher from telling me she didn't agree with my lifestyle during the election season last year, which made me feel unsafe and unaccepted in a place I should feel protected. Furthermore, putting a policy in place provides an open avenue for communication between queer youth and adults. As young members of the LGBT community, one of the biggest assets to have is an older mentor who relates to our experiences, which I believe many students are missing out on because your staff are afraid to be themselves. Refusing to provide an equal and fair protection for your employees is an ugly blemish on Loudoun County Public Schools. Do the right thing. Revisit. Thank you.
Thank you. Inez Navarez to be followed by Jackson Lessler.
Hello, my name is Yanez, and I'm an 8th grader at Riverbend Middle School. I recently determined that I'm a lesbian, and a year ago, you voted against adding LGBTQ to your protection policy. I didn't like this, of course. Because even if you don't think it's necessary, it is. It's necessary because there are people out there who say things like this, and I quote, "Mental and physical health issues, which are more prevalent among homosexuals and gender-confused people, will open up a Pandora's box of liability, health insurance, and counseling costs." Now, even though you didn't say this, and even if you don't agree with it, by voting against adding LGBTQ to the policy, you're saying that it's okay for people to say this, and it isn't. We're not going to stop fighting until you vote yes. And history will remember which side you're on. Thank you.
Thank you. Jackson Lessler to be followed by Sylvia Glass.
Good evening. My name is Jackson Lessler. I'm a 2016 graduate from Loudoun Valley, and I'm here to encourage the revisitation of specifically including sexual orientation and gender identity in the language regarding employment protections. The issue was voted on almost exactly 1 year ago and was one of the more highly publicized decisions the board has made in recent memory. That publicity is important to note because that means students were watching, they were listening, and they saw and they heard the men and women behind this table vote to say that they do not care about queer identifying people the way they explicitly do people of varying races, colors, sexes, ages, nationalities, disabilities, medical conditions, or marital and pregnancy statuses. 80,000 students, so statistically, somewhere around 4,000 of them would belong to the LGBTQ community. And 4,000 students saw the people appointed to stand up for them say that they just do not matter as much. Before last year's vote, multiple teachers at Loudoun schools spoke up in this room about either being a member of the LGBTQ community or having a teacher friend that is, and how most of them were too afraid to put up a picture of them and their same-sex spouse on their desk. As a gay student, I know I would have greatly benefited from being exposed to a teacher who was fearlessly themselves, out and proud. More than just a role model I could relate to, it would have showed me that my school thought it was okay to be who I am, supporting my teachers in that same way. Some of the people that came out against adding these protections last year said that the entire LGBTQ issue should just be left out of public schools entirely. Let me remind you of the impossibility of that notion. It comes up in our history, government, and psychology classes, it's written about in our school papers and magazines, and it's apparent at our school dances, locker rooms, and blood drives, where it's still illegal to donate blood as a sexually active gay male. And every time it comes up, like it did last January, a queer identifying student pays attention. Are their classmates supportive, or are they snickering? And if there are snickers, can you blame them when the leading role models of their school system say that it's just not important enough to protect their own employees, much less their students? Please reconsider your decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Sylvia Glass to be followed by Ethan Rodriguez.